You are never going to hear me say that goals are not important, but I do believe there are many things that are even more important than goals that will get you even further in life. What are they? Keep listening. Glue. It's messy, it's sticky, it gets everywhere, but it's also really useful. Just like the glue that we need to put together the pieces of our life as busy working moms. We have after-school activities, we have homework, we have cleaning, we have laundry, and, we want to spend time with our kids as well in the process and maybe even have some time for ourselves. This podcast is for the busy moms out there who are balancing work, life, and everything in between, and we all know that in between encompasses a lot of things. If you're a mom who wants to do the best in all areas of life but still have time for yourself, this podcast is for you. I love to interview other moms and find out what works for them, get ideas from them, get inspired by them, and learn, we're all in this together. But I also like to share my own tips, tricks, struggles, triumphs, and share it all with you. So grab a load of laundry, lock yourself in the bathroom, go for a walk, do whatever you got to do, but I am just so glad you're here. Hey Glue Sticks, Sarah here for episode 9 of the Work Life Glue podcast, where we talk about creating balance that sticks for busy working moms. I am a mom to 3 little girls, ages 5, 3, and 3 months old. I am the wife to a crazy busy chef who works at a hotel and also runs a cookie business on the side. And I am a daycare provider now turned just online entrepreneur who loves helping other moms create balance that sticks. I love productivity. I love time management, schedules, routines, and motivation for the busy working mom. So of course, goal setting is my jam. I absolutely love setting goals. I love planning. And plus, it is that time of year where everybody's talking about goal planning. But because everybody's talking about it, I'm actually not going to talk about it. Instead, in addition to what I talked about 2 weeks ago in episode 7, where I discussed things you should say no to in the new year to make time for things that you want to say yes to, this week I am going to be talking all about a few things that I think we should all be saying yes to, that we should incorporate into our daily routines every single day, because these are the things that will get us further in life than goal setting ever will on its own. So it's all about the daily habits. This is something I learned and really incorporated into my life 5 years ago. If you listen to episode 2, where I talked about my postpartum depression journey and how it actually saved my life, it's because I started reading books and learning about these daily habits you can do every day. They're not miracle workers, but they can work miracles in your life if you stick to them, because they open up the gate for breakthroughs. They allow you to become a better person so that you can be successful. And they are getting you used to doing something every single day. And the more consistent you are with anything you do, the better you will become at it, the more it will help your life, and all the effects of those things will compound over time. In 2015, I read the life-changing book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and that was one of the few books that helped me get out of my depression. And in that book, Hal Elrod writes, "Our outer world will always be a reflection of our inner world. Our level of success is always going to parallel our level of personal development. Until we dedicate time each day to developing ourselves into the person we need to be to create the life we want, success is always going to be a struggle to attain." So, paraphrasing what he said, our outer world reflects our inner world. And if we don't do the inner work, we're never going to receive the benefits of the success on the outside, meeting those goals on the outside, if we're not the people that can meet those goals. And then in the single most influential book I will recommend until I die, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Jeff Olson writes, "The truth is, what you do matters. What you do today matters. What you do every day matters. Successful people just do the things that seem to make no difference in the act of doing them, and they do them over and over and over until the compound effect kicks in." So, if you want to be successful, if you want to reach those goals, you can't just be working towards those goals. You have to be bettering yourself. You have to be doing these little things every single day that will make you a better person. And then it will be so much easier to achieve your goals. You have to become the person that you want to be able to do the things you want to do. I have learned this so much. Every successful person will tell you this. You have to change yourself in order to change your life. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to be talking about some daily routines that may have nothing to do with your goals at all, but really they do. Because if you do these things, they will help you become a better person, more well-rounded. You'll learn things. You'll learn things about yourself. You'll learn knowledge that will help guide you, and you will be a better person and a person that other people want to learn from, that other people want to buy from, that a boss wants to promote. Depending on what your goal is, these things will help inadvertently, and they will just get you further in life and help you be a better person, which ultimately I think should be all of our main goal by the end of our life, is to be great people. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 different things that I'm committing to doing daily in 2021, and I encourage you guys to join me as well. You may think of other things, and if you do, I would love for you to go over to the Work Life Glue Moms Facebook group, where you can chime in every time I post an episode. I have a post in there that everybody in the community can comment on. So I would love to hear any other things that you're committing to doing daily in 2021 to not only just reach your personal goals, but become a more well-rounded person. So let's jump in. So number 1 is, Well, I'm a former English teacher, English major in college. I love reading. So number 1 is to read 10 pages of a quote unquote good book. Now, I love literature. I love reading. I love characters, and I love storylines and plot, and just, getting in there and learning and being enveloped in these new worlds. But I think it's really important that we're not just reading fiction. I love fiction. I think it's amazing. I couldn't get enough of it, but I have been on a personal development kick for the last 5 years, and it has totally changed my life, and it will change yours too. So when I say a quote unquote good book, I mean something that will get you ahead in some way. Maybe it's a parenting book. Maybe it's a business book. Maybe it's a book about your field, whatever your career is in. Maybe it is a book about, letting go of the toxicity in your life or helping you get through trauma. Maybe it's a book about social media marketing. Maybe it's a book about friendships or marriage or healing your wounds from hard relationships in the parent-child relationship realm. Whatever it is, something that is going to benefit you, make you think, help you, give you skills and ideas and tips for changing some area of your life. There are so many out there. Just pick one and start going. So try to read 10 pages. That's not hard to do, even for busy working moms. At the end of this episode, I'm going to talk about some ideas of how to incorporate these into your day, because the last thing I want to do is throw a bunch of stuff you guys should do every day and then be like, good luck, try to figure it out. You're already super busy, but here's 5 more things you should do. No, I want to give you guys practical tips of how to do these things. If I'm going to tell you things I want you to do, I'm going to give you some ideas of how to incorporate them, but you'll have to wait till the end of this episode. So number 1, read 10 pages of a good book. This will help get you really far in the new year, especially if you're picking books about things that you are really struggling with. I've read a lot of parenting books because parenting is hard and I want to be good at it. I've read books about marriage. I've read a lot of business books and just overall books about habit and books about finding time, as a busy mom. There's so many good books out there. Number 2, the second thing I think everybody should do every single day is to journal. Now, this kind of incorporates a few things that I think we should all do every day. So I'm going to lump journaling, reflecting / meditating, depending on how you view meditation, praying, and gratitude. These can all be combined into one thing. I'm all about trying to combine as many things into one thing to save time, to save energy, and just to check off something, that can be kind of cumbersome, that can be a little overwhelming sometimes to fit in. When you think of journaling, you're like, how many minutes do I have to do this for? But when you're also adding in that you're going to be using this as your gratitude journal. Maybe you'll pray throughout your journal and it's helping you reflect on your day. And, it's helping kill like 4 birds with one stone, basically. So what I do and have started doing is setting a timer for me. This probably won't work for everybody, but I do this around 2:30 every day. Nap/rest time ends at 3. So I do this at 2:30 and I will take this time to get my journal out. And it usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes. So I also am incorporating writing a scripture. So that could also be something you combine with this, but I write a scripture down. I'm just copying it word for word, kind of thinking about it, reflecting on it as I'm writing it. Then I write 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. And I try to make them very specific. Things that, I haven't written about before. I don't just write like my husband or my daughters. I try to write something about them that I'm grateful for. So I'm really, focusing in and digging deep and pulling that gratitude out of me, because there's been so many studies about how gratitude leads to happiness, and happiness, is a great thing we all want to experience. And it really just starts with being grateful for what we have. So I try to really focus on that during that time. And I'm kind of like praying for those things and thanking God for those things as I write them. And then I do that, I have a 2-page spread in my journal. So that's usually takes up close to one of the pages. And then on the other side of the sheet, I will just kind of write whatever I'm thinking about, just free write journal. I'm thinking about my day, what's bothering me, what I'm excited for, stuff like that. Sometimes I'll do a brain dump if I'm overwhelmed, whatever it is. But I always leave journaling feeling like refreshed in some way. I think it's so helpful for us to get our thoughts down. First of all, it helps you to, analyze your thoughts and realize, oh, I didn't realize I was even thinking about this till I put pen to paper and gave myself some time in my day. As busy moms, like we don't have a lot of time to just sit and think. So this allows you to actually just kind of open up your mind, figuring out what's bothering you or what you're excited about. Also, you might have a breakthrough idea by kind of quieting your mind and allowing the thoughts to flow. You might think of this amazing idea you had never thought of before. That also happens to me in the shower, which I know is pretty common. And then it also helps you channel your thoughts more positively. I know when I'm feeling really negative, if I get the negative out of me and I write it down, it doesn't have to live within me anymore. So I let it go. And then you can even, write out some negative thoughts and then rewrite them as positive statements. This is just, there's so many great things you can do through a journaling session. 5-10 minutes. It does not have to take a long time. You can do it with your kids around, even if you have to. It's not a big deal. I think it's healthy for them to see. And it's really easy to fit into your day. So definitely consider journaling, reflecting, adding gratitude journaling to your day, prayer, all of those things. And it's even better if you can kind of combine them into one daily practice. Try to do it at the same time every day, or, at least try to just have it done before you go to bed even. There's so many ways to fit it in, but the way it will impact your life is just phenomenal. And I know anybody who journals consistently will attest to it being a really helpful tool for your mind and helping you, channel your thoughts, get your ideas out and really work through them on paper. And then it might give you really good ideas of things to start, or ideas of, something you might want to do with your family or do on your own that will better your life in some way. I know that some of you are thinking right now, Sarah, I barely have time to shower or go to the bathroom on my own. I have no time. How in the world am I supposed to fit in these 5 extra things? I have a feeling in most cases that this is because you need better routines and systems in your day. I was able to jump back into my daily routines with a newborn baby just days after she was born. And it's not because I'm like superhuman or a robot or what have you. And it's not because I have like robot children. Trust me, if only you knew what happens in my house sometimes. It's because I have routines and systems that I was easily able to get back into after the baby was born. It's something I pride myself on. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to motivate you and to show that I can help you. This is something I feel I'm really good at, is creating systems and routines to time management, productivity, figuring out how to fit everything into your day and get rid of all the stuff that shouldn't be in your day. Do I have a lot on my plate? Definitely. Are my children perfect angels all the time and that's how I'm able to be productive? Absolutely not. I owe it all to being just super structured where everything fits in my day, but I have a lot of flexibility in there too. Like I said, I'm not a robot. I just have really good systems and routines. So if you are listening to this and you have no idea where to fit all these things in and you need help figuring out, how to fit in all the things you want to do, all the things you need to do in your day, head over to worklifeglue.com/coaching and sign up for a strategy session with me. By the end, we will have some routines, some systems in place that can get you started on reclaiming not only your day, but reclaiming your entire life. So head over to worklifeglue.com/coaching and set up a strategy session with me soon. Let's get this 2021 ball rolling, get your year started off on the right foot and started feeling a lot better, as a mom, as a leader in your house, and just as a person trying to get through the day. Okay, daily habit number 3 that I think we all should fit into our day is affirmations. So you can say these out loud, you can say them in your head. This isn't a super woo-woo thing. This is a thing that I think just especially as women and as moms, women already I feel like are super hard on themselves and it's so easy to compare yourself to everybody else. But then you add motherhood in on top of it. And it's the whole world is out there critiquing us. We feel like no matter what we do, it's wrong. It's so easy to fill your mind with toxicity, with lies about yourself, with horrible thoughts of how you're not good enough, how everybody's doing a better job, how you're not equipped. We need to change that. In order to change our life and make our goals happen, it all starts in our head. And I'm not you think a thought and then all of a sudden, poof, it appears. No. But if we change where our thoughts lead us, we will change where we are able to go in our lives, all the things that we're able to do. If we believe in ourselves, we can go so much further than if we're filled with doubt and fear and criticism about ourselves. So when I talk about affirmations, what do I actually mean by this? Well, there's tons of websites and different things out there you can find with affirmations. But what I like to do is just have one that I focus on every week. And I do this actually with my kids. This is something I started recently and I have really loved doing this. And basically, I just have these cards I found on Etsy. I will link where I got them below, but you could make your own. You don't have to even print them out. You could just come up with one. And I have it out and then we talk about it every single week. We say it every morning. And these are just for kids, things like, I am strong. I am brave. I love my body. I love my mind. I am kind. I have good friends, things like that. So I statements. And then for myself, I have a thing like a sheet of paper on my mirror in the bathroom and I will write out affirmations like I am a good mother. I am a good friend. I'm a good wife. I have everything I need to get through the day. I can make a difference in this world. I am making a difference in this world. Good things are happening in my life, just stuff like that. And I will either say it in my mind or I will say it out loud. It's really great when you're looking in a mirror. So you're saying it and you're looking at yourself and you're believing it as you're saying it. You're saying it with gusto, you're saying it with belief behind it. And I teach my girls to do the same thing. I want them to grow up believing in themselves because we are all worth believing in ourselves. And so if you fit this in, it will change your thoughts. You may not see it, but trust me, the more you fill your mind with positive thoughts, the more your subconscious will take over and it will start thinking positive thoughts. And you won't even have to be controlling it anymore, which is really, really cool. I know we all could use some more positivity in our life, especially this year. So why not start doing just this little activity, fit it in when you're getting ready, do this little activity with your kids when they're getting ready. They can say it in front of the mirror, as they're brushing their teeth, doing their hair, that kind of stuff. And just make it like a fun, silly activity you do. And you can even talk about it, make it part of a bigger thing if you want to, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be a simple thing you do every day. You can do it in the car, during breakfast. It really doesn't matter. But I think it's so important to fit in affirmations every single day. I really can't get through a whole episode talking about, changing your life without talking about physical health. I am a huge mental health advocate, but of course, physical health is important too. It just, for me, is something I have struggled with for sure since becoming a mom, but I know that's real life. And I know a lot of you guys have the same issue. You have kids, your body changes. It doesn't look like it once looked. Losing weight is harder. Finding time to exercise and eat right and plan meals and meal prep and all of that is a lot harder once you have kids, and then throw in work on top of it. And it's almost laughable. Like, how are we supposed to fit all that in? Some of you guys, I'm sure, are really great about it. It's a huge priority to you. But I know some of us, like me, where I have had these other really big goals, it's just been super hard to fit in. But I am committing every single day in 2021 to moving my body. I am committing to something small though. I could say I'm going to work out for an hour every day and do weightlifting and cardio and this and that. And I know I'm going to fail. It's not going to happen. That's not how big change happens in our life. Big change happens through small change. You just by little, you don't just one day wake up and all of a sudden you're running a marathon. No, you have to do a little bit at a time. So I'm committing to 15 minutes per day. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look good. I'm not even planning to put on workout clothes for those 15 minutes. I'm just planning to move. If it's a walk that day, great. What I really am working on is diastasis recti routine. So I'm going to be doing a program to help heal my abs, but obviously that's not an issue for everyone. But your 15 minutes could be doing a Cosmic Kids yoga with your children. It could be walking around the mall or walking around your block or whatever. It could be doing squats and sit-ups and stuff like that with your kids around. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't even all have to happen at one time. But I think 15 minutes is a good amount of time that it's going to make some difference, but it's not going to be so overwhelming that you're like, not going to do that. So I think we all could fit in 15 minutes. And the goal is, I know when I'm trying to trick myself. I know 15 minutes, if I start it and I do it long enough, will turn into 30 minutes, maybe even longer, or it will turn into like those 30 minutes of lesser intense workout will become a more intense workout if I can just stay committed. So the main thing is you want to do these things every day, and you may deepen it and do it in a more enriching way over time. But the main thing is just to start small so that eventually you can grow, but you just want to get that habit started. And then lastly, this is one of my favorite ones. I absolutely love reading, but I also really love listening to things. So another thing I am committing to in 2021 that I think all of us can commit to, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you're actually doing what I am going to say right now. And that is listening to something inspirational, educational, motivational, something that will either educate you about something or inspire or motivate you in life. So there are so many ways you can do this, but one way is listening to podcasts that maybe are inspirational or educational or motivational, which hopefully this podcast is all three. I have lots of information. Plus, I have a lot of inspiring and motivating stories from other moms, but definitely my podcast isn't the only podcast out there. I love quite a few. And so, maybe you listen to a podcast episode every day. Maybe you listen to a YouTube video or watch a YouTube video. Sometimes I just listen that is really inspiring or educational in some way. Maybe you have a show or a documentary or something that you're working your way through that educates you on a topic or inspires or motivates you in some way. Listening to music that does this, any of those, maybe you even have some other ideas, but I like listening to these things because I find listening is a lot easier to fit into my day. You could even turn the reading into the listening and kind of kill two birds with one stone with that. You could listen to an audiobook, and that way you're reading / listening at the same time. So it really doesn't matter, but I think it's really important that we're filling ourselves with good things. We can easily fill ourselves with negative crap that's out there. There is so much awful stuff in the world that's just, what's the point? Like gossip and just fluff stuff. And I think there's times for that when you just kind of want to veg out on the couch. But I think we need to be purposeful with finding things that will fill us up, educate us about something, inspire us, motivate us to become better people, to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And so, doing any of those things are really important. How do I fit that in? Normally, I will listen while I'm getting ready in the morning, either to I'll have a YouTube video playing, or I'll be listening to a podcast, or even an audiobook. I also like to do this when I'm cooking and when I'm cleaning. I'll have my headphones in and I'll listen then. I also like to listen in the shower. And then if you have a commute, that's also a great time to listen. What I do during our weekly Target run is my 3-year-old will be listening to kid music in the back of the van, and then I'll have my phone playing a podcast, not so loud that it's bothering her, but loud enough that I can hear it. And so she's listening to her own thing and I'm listening to my own thing, and it's just a great time to fit in that as well. I feel like as moms, we are really busy, but there's so many times in the day where we could also be listening to something. And maybe you even have an audiobook that would be kid friendly. You could have that playing for your whole family. It doesn't have to just be for you. It can also benefit the whole family. So this one I think is a really easy one to fit in, that I think all of us should be fitting in and utilizing all the resources all around us these days. We really have so much at our fingertips that no other generation had, and we can multitask in that way, which a lot of people weren't able to. So let's take advantage of that. And then how do we fit in the rest of these, when it seems really hard to fit in? One way you can do this is just making it part of your morning routine. You get up before your children and you fit in these things. That's what the Miracle Morning is all about. If you haven't read that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's great. It's been really popular for a reason, and it really helped me create a really solid morning routine. You could also fit it in, at your lunch break. Maybe you'll journal or move your body or listen to something or do your affirmations, what have you, or read during your lunch break if you have one, or nap time if you're, working from home or at home with your kids. That's another great time to do it. If you have a commute, you could fit in some of these then. Some people bus to work. You could be journaling then, you could be listening then. Probably not moving your body then, but if you bike or walk to work, that would be moving your body. So that would work then. I also like to set alarms. I love structure and routine, but I also easily forget things and get distracted throughout the day with just everything that being a mom involves. So I like to set alarms on my phone. I do this all the time. So at 2:30, my alarm will go off to journal, because I normally will forget otherwise, because it's just kind of a random time of my day where I'm waiting for my daughter to come home, but it's not like something happened that signals to do it. So an alarm is what signals me to do it. So you could set an alarm at different times of your day to fit in some of these things. And then I just, like I said, I multitask, trying to do these things during showers, making meals, cleaning, commutes, driving. Any of those things are great times to fit these in. And also, I don't think you have to do all of these things when your kids are asleep or away. I think it's really good for our kids to see us doing these things. So much of the time we're told, we have to do this with our kids. We have to be fully present, blah, blah, blah. And yes, definitely, there should be times of the day where we're fully present with our kids. But I think it's super helpful and beneficial for them to see us focusing on ourselves in front of them. So reading in front of them while they're doing something else. They see, oh, reading is important to my mom. Okay, saying our affirmations. Oh, that's important to my mom. My mom does that. I want to be like my mom, so I'm going to do it too. Exercising is a great thing for our kids to see us do, even if it's just a little bit and they can do it with us. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, it's annoying sometimes, but it's really good for them to see. The same with, listening to something. It's just super great for our kids to see us doing these things. So I would fully encourage you guys and say it's a great idea to do these in front of them. You don't have to wait till they're gone or asleep. Okay, it's time for me to share my mama survival tip of the week. So I was talking a little bit about multitasking already, and there's so many studies about multitasking and how we actually don't multitask. We shift our focus between things. But I do believe when you're doing monotonous, routine, autopilot type things like cleaning, cooking, driving, I think those are all great times to multitask, okay? Not using your phone while driving, obviously, but listening to things and doing other things like that while you're, doing these things that are really monotonous is a great way to, kind of stack different things together. So like I said, listening to audiobooks or podcasts in the car, reading a book while waiting at the doctor's office. You might talk to a friend while you're cleaning. These are all ways we can multitask as people, but especially as moms, to try to fit more into our day and stack really good, beneficial things with kind of boring, but have to do kind of things. So today's survival tip is actually about shopping trips with little kids. Now, I know a lot of us aren't doing that right now or aren't doing it very much, but maybe you have another instance where this might be helpful, or just tuck it, in your brain for a later time when we are able to go out with our kids all the time like we used to. Pray to God that day comes soon. But one thing I am getting each of our girls for their stocking stuffers this year are flashcards. And not super boring flashcards with 2+2 or what have you on it. Although I'm sure eventually we will graduate up to those when our oldest is a little bit older. But I'm talking flashcards that our girls are interested in. So each of our 3 girls, ages 5, 3, and just 3 months old, are getting flashcard sets that are on rings that will help keep them entertained while shopping, and also educating them in the process. So I don't know about you, but I'm sure many of you guys experience this. We're really dealing with this with our 3-year-old right now, where, every time she sees something with a button, she wants to push it. Or if she sees a candle, she wants to smell it. Or she sees a book, she wants to hold it and look at it. And, she just wants to touch everything. And obviously, especially right now, that's not a good idea. But even in general, I'm not stopping the cart every 2.2 seconds so you can touch something. So instead of having to say, no, we're not touching that, blah, 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 she does play with toys once in a while, but I thought a really great idea would be to have flashcards for her to work through. And so for our 5-year-old, I got sight word flashcards that also have a short sentence on the back that she is able to now read. Our 3-year-old, I got the ABCs. I have a picture of an object that starts with that letter, and then it has the letters. And then for our baby, I got flashcards with just simple objects that are some of the things that are baby's first words that they can recognize and say. Obviously, at 3 months old, that's not going to happen anytime soon, but eventually when she's closer to 1 or a little beyond, those will be really beneficial for her, but before then she's so little. It's not like she's, looking at stuff at the store and wanting to hold it yet, but that day will come. So I plan to use these, not pulling them out the second we get to the store, but when my 3-year-old is driving me crazy, or my 5-year-old is oh, I really want that, and I'm not letting her have something and she's upset about it, I will pull these out and say, let's go through our flashcards together. I will maybe even kind of entice them a little bit by saying you can pick out a very small treat or something at the checkout line if we get through so many cards. And I think that way treats can be beneficial because it's helping them to do something that's actually educational and also helping you to stay sane and get through your shopping trip and be able to focus. So, it'll help our 3-year-old learn her ABCs. It'll help our 5-year-old learn her sight words. It's keeping their hands off of everything. It's keeping them focused, and it's also helping you. So this is just a great tip. So I know some people do lollipops at the store, but I love the idea that they kind of have to earn that by doing something educational. But these things, especially at the younger ages, it's fun for them. It's not okay, recite all your times tables. And they're ugh, that my 5-year-old loves to learn. She's loving reading because she's so proud that she's able to actually read words. My 3-year-old loves learning her ABCs. And my baby soon will be able to start saying words and be so excited when she says them correctly. So it's fun, it's educational, and it's helping keep mama sane and help her survive her shopping trip. If you head over to worklifeglue.com/podcast/tips, you can send in some of your own tips, and I will have a little gift for you if I end up using your tip in the podcast. So I would love to include yours here as well. And now moving on to one of my favorite segments where I share what earned the mama seal of approval. In our house, the single most loved item probably in our kitchen is our Instant Vortex air fryer. This is not sponsored in any way. We bought this air fryer over a year ago. It was our anniversary present to each other back in 2019, and it is made by the same makers of the Instant Pot. So obviously it's great, right? Like the Instant Pot is still super popular. I just love their products, and they make an air fryer as well. Air fryers are also super popular right now. We actually owned a different air fryer, a very typical one with like a pull-out basket before that, but we found ourselves not using it because it was really hard to clean. It wasn't dishwasher safe, and it got really caked on. You couldn't fit a lot in. And like, let's say you're doing like chicken nuggets, all of them have to fit on top of each other because of the way it's designed. And it wasn't great for cooking thoroughly. Stuff would get stuck together, and it was hard to clean. So we ended up just not really liking that. But when we saw the Instant Vortex air fryer, we thought this is a genius product. We use it literally every single day, often multiple times a day. What do we cook in it? I mean, you name it, we probably cook it in there besides like pasta or something like that. But like burgers, chicken, fries, tater tots, chicken nuggets, fish, rotisserie chicken, you can even do in there. Potatoes, veggies, pizza, reheating food, quesadillas, like so many things we make in there. It's amazing. So instead of a basket like most air fryers, it actually has 2 slide-in trays, one on the top, one in the middle, and then it has a bottom drip tray. And all 3 of them are dishwasher safe. So we rarely scrub them in the sink. We just pop them into the dishwasher. They come out clean, and we put them right back in. It's super easy to clean because of the trays. It's super great at cooking thoroughly because it's actually cooking all the way around the food. Whereas with the basket, all the food's like sitting on top of each other. So it's not like fully cooking every single area the same amount. Whereas in the Instant Vortex, it is. It's fully circulating the air all around. It's crispy all the way around. It's delicious. It can also bake, and I think it can do like so many other things that we don't even use it for, but you can do rotisserie chicken in there as well, which is super cool. It does take up space on your counter, but because we use it every single day, it's totally worth it. And it's stainless steel. It matches most people's appliances that they have in their kitchen and looks really nice. And we absolutely love it. It helps us make healthier foods in a fraction of the time. Or even those unhealthy foods, we can make them quicker, get them on the table quicker, and just the quality of it is so much better, and we don't have to heat up our whole oven just to cook something small. We can do it in the Instant Vortex, and it cleans up much better than an oven does. We absolutely love it. I feel like with that and the Instant Pot, what more do you really need? Like they just do so many things. And I just think that company that designed both of them is just genius. They have been so helpful in our kitchen. So I thought I would point that out for those of you who are interested in an air fryer, because I think it honestly is like the best one on the market. I love the design. We love it. My husband's a chef, and he will talk about it till the end of time because he loves that thing so much because he's a big meat eater and he loves making burgers and things in there. It comes out so well cooked and just fresh and juicy, but it also the fat drips out and it's just perfect. We absolutely love it. So highly recommended. Definitely earns the mama seal of approval for this week. Okay, guys, that is the end of episode 9. I want to know, will you be committing to doing these 5 daily rituals every single day? Or maybe you have your own that you're going to incorporate instead of the 5 I did. That's totally fine. But whatever you choose, I promise you, you will be a changed person in multiple ways by the end of 2021 if you do these things or your own things. I just think that is the main goal. We will get to those other goals, but we need to be good people at the foundation and well-rounded and learning and growing each day in order to reach our goals, our bigger goals, and to do those things that are even bigger than that. We have to start with a really solid foundation. And if you really stop and think about, what if every single person on earth did this, did these 5 different things every day, saying affirmations, moving their body, reading 10 pages of a good book, and listening to something uplifting in some way and reflecting on their life, praying, that kind of thing. What if every single person did this? Think of how much the whole world would change just by doing these 5 little things every day. It really, when you stop and think about how much it could change the whole world, it really makes you think, okay, if it could change the whole world that much, well, obviously it would have to change me a lot too. So if you do these 5 things, you will be a different person. It's not going to happen overnight, but nothing good happens overnight usually. There are very few stories of overnight successes that actually were overnight successes. And a lot of times they end up crashing and burning because they're not ready for it. If you want to be ready for true success, for true growth, for real change in your life, you have to be doing that inner work to change as well. And I highly encourage you guys to start. A new year is always a great time. If you're listening to this in the future, though, you don't have to wait for a new year. Start tomorrow. Every day is a gift, and you can start wherever you're at, whenever, and start the process then to make real growth and change in your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I would be so grateful if you would scroll down to the bottom of Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review letting me know what you think of the podcast. This really helps other moms find this podcast and make positive changes in their lives too, and help others find this podcast. And the more moms we help find this podcast, the more moms I can interview and can help you as well. So it's a win-win situation, and I would be so grateful if you could do that. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go get something done, go love on your kids, and go live your dreams. I'll talk to you next time.